So what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing the steering wheel cover and also the gear gator. Now, you've all seen the products, I'm sure, on Instagram and stuff like that. You can send your steering wheel away, they'll recover it for you, they'll do it in a nice leather, they'll give you a centre marker for the middle of the steering wheel, they'll do it in Alcantara, they'll do it in suede, leather, whatever you want, and they look brilliant. But what happens if you get a DIY kit? Now, this is a kit that I've got from Alibaba. I bought this as well extra. This is a gear gator. This is a leather one. I mentioned it in my last video that I would be getting something like this. So this is what I'm doing today. I'm going to do the gear gator, throw that on, and I'm also going to do the steering wheel cover, which is in this bag here. It comes with a weird little kit. Now, in this kit you get a needle and thread, basically, some adhesive tape and like a little pry bar to make sure you get it onto the steering wheel properly. So I'm not really looking forward to doing this. I think it's going to be really tedious, I think it's going to be really long. I think it's going to take the mick, to put it bluntly. I think it's going to take forever. So first things first, just in case we need to remove the airbag, we will have to remove it from its position at the moment in the centre of the steering wheel, but just in case we need to remove the airbag completely, I'm going to pop the bonnet and disconnect the airbag. So that's first. So now that that's done and out of the way, I'm going to leave the airbag now for a good half hour and get cracking on with the gear gator. Because the gear gator itself, I think, might be a little bit easier, but more than anything, I want to give the airbag time to discharge, so to speak. They say you've got to leave them for about an hour. I don't think I'll need to unplug the airbag, but I'm just playing it safe, you know. The alternative is wearing a helmet while you're removing the airbag, which I could do. Anyway, so here's the new one. It's nice black with blue stitching, and this is a genuine leather. It's a lot thicker, it's a lot nicer of a material, like suede inside, and it's just a lot thicker. Whereas this, it's really thin, cheap plastic crap. It feels almost brittle to the touch. First things first, gear knob off, save that for later. I'm also going to see if I can colour the gear selection on there as well. I want to colour that blue just to match the rest of the aesthetic. And then it's the centre console off, so I believe everything comes off from here forward. There's a couple of screws either side of the centre console. So I stand corrected, because these two parts sort of interlink with one another there, you have to pull the armrest back first. So it wasn't just the 4 screws on the centre console piece, it was actually 8 screws in total. So next thing's next. Let's get the crappy plastic bit out. Here we are. So you can see I just taped it in because it wasn't really the right shape, whereas this, it's got it's shaped, it's got cutouts in it, you know, it's just a better piece of kit really. It just looks more proper. Certainly looks like it's been made for this particular application anyway. So yeah, I'm going to screw these two off now, pull this little tray out, and then that'll let this slide out nice and easy. So this is the tray that holds the gear gator in place. It sort of just slots into the centre console there, and then screws at the top here with those 2 screws that I've just removed. It's also got sort of little hooks, if you like, on the back of it, just to hold the gear gator in place. And there is already pre-made holes, as I showed you before, at the bottom of this particular gear gator. So I'll get to threading that now, and then place it in, screw it back up, and show you the finished product.
Later.
Gear boot on and looking rather good as well. So I'm going to colour this, but this is so much better. It feels so much nicer, so much better in comparison to this plastic crappy thing. I mean, you can tell just by looking at it just how much thicker this one is. Also, it won't rattle because this one had like a little metal top to it, whereas this one's just all leather like the original item from Honda was. So yeah, that's definitely great improvement. Definitely a lot more robust. I'd bet that it'll last a lot longer. So now onto the steering wheel. That took the mick itself. I must have been doing that for about 20 minutes, just making sure it was sort of seated right, because it had the right slots and everything for the for the metal tray that sort of sits underneath that plastic centre console. Now the steering wheel, I need to unpop these little trims here, pop those off. There's one either side, as you can see there's a little hole just to get your prying tool in. Pop those off. 2 bolts, one either side. I believe they're like an Allen key or a Torx bit sort of fit. And those particular little screws inside there. And the airbag should slide off. And then once the airbag slid off, I'll have full access to the steering wheel to put this on. Now, as I've said before, if I can get my words out, as I've said before, everyone's seen these fitted, you know, to the steering wheel. This is supposed to be an exact fit, a bespoke custom fit, if you like, for this particular steering wheel. I've gone for the perforated leather on the sides, solid leather on the top and bottom, and then it's just a plain wheel as well. I've not gone for the centre line, if you like, in the middle. I didn't really like it. I'm not very fond of that centre line sort of style, unless it's on like a drift car that you'd need to quickly reference the centre point of the steering wheel. I do think the suit drift cars a bit more, but yeah, this feels really nice. Feels like a very, very soft leather. It's got the blue stitching as well to match the gear gator. So yeah, hopefully they'll both look very nice together. Now I'm going to quickly whip off this airbag. They scared the living crap out of me to airbag. Right, airbag's out of the way. I can crack on now. So I've pulled the keys out of the ignition because I want the steering lock to come on. I don't know if you can tell, but this is really tight around the outer edge of the steering wheel. It's sort of, can just sort of like make it out there, like it's nice and baggy here, but it's tight around the outer edge of the steering wheel, which is exactly what you want so it doesn't move. It does come with double-sided tape to lay on the inside, but yeah, it's looking really good actually so far, and it feels really nice as well. Perforated leather there, the solid leather at the bottom, but I just need to rotate it slightly, as you can see there. So I've taken the keys out. So I just wanted the steering lock to come on just so I can try and sort of shimmy it round. Wish me luck. So if you know any perfectionists, this is definitely a job for them. Basically what I'm trying to do is there's seam sort of marks on the original steering wheel leather, and this does go straight over the original leather, by the way. You don't have to strip that, but there's a couple of seams here and here that match exactly where the the new leather cover that I'm putting on is. You know, it matches it perfectly. So it's that stuff that I'm trying my best to sort of like match up and mirror up as best I can to the original steering wheel cover, so that I know it's bang on square, it's perfectly right, you know, before I start throwing tape at it and stitching it up.
Much later.
It's literally the next day, and Jesus Christ, did I underestimate how much work it is to stitch a steering wheel now. It is done, it does look a hell of a lot better. It's not perfect, it's not going to be perfect with me doing it. So this is a really cheap steering wheel cover, but it is genuine leather. You can tell with how it smells, and you can certainly tell with this just how much stretch I put into it with the thread. I've been going at this like no tomorrow. I thought I'd snap the thread twice, which is a complete nightmare, but it's going on. I'm going to throw it on now. God, my fingers are absolutely killing me. In fact, my main finger's just bruised. Anyway, let's get the wheel on, let's get it done. I'm sick of it. So just throwing the steering wheel on and it looks mint. A quick recap then as to what happened last night. I got so fucking pissed off with it that I took the steering wheel off, and Jesus Christ was it so much easier with the steering wheel off. I unstitched the part that I'd already done in the car, just because it wasn't seating very well, it wasn't seating centrally. So what I did, and I'll show you the wheel now, it looks absolutely mint. I tried to start it centrally at the centre of the thread, and then worked outwards with both ends of the thread, all the way around the wheel on both sides, and I did the same on the bottom. Started centrally in the middle with the centre of the thread, and then worked outwards on both sides. As you can see, it's not perfect. I couldn't pull pull it anymore at that point. You just don't have fear of snapping the thread, but it's not a section that you hold these little pieces underneath. It is out of eyesight more or less, apart from for the driver, and God, it just looks, I mean, look at that, it looks so much better, and it goes so well with the gear knob, with the seats, you know, the blue on the seats. I mean, you have to forgive the mess because it's just all crap from yesterday, but yeah, it does look really, really good. I'm actually quite chuffed with that. So that's how I'd do one of these covers. You know, I'd work outwards. You do get a lot of adhesive tape. That probably hinders you more than actually helps you, because it makes the leather stick to the steering wheel, and then when you're trying to pull it and tighten it up, it doesn't really help, and the leather's tight enough that, trust me, it would not move anyway. So next time I did one of these, I probably wouldn't even use the double-sided tape. I'd probably just leave it as it is. God, it feels so good. So that is that. So if you've made it this far in the video, I mean, for me, this has been I must have put about 6 hours in this particular steering wheel, but if you've made it this far in the video, then please comment below, let me know what you think about the wheel. I really like it. Would I do it again? I'm not sure. Part of me wants to say no, because it was just so much of a ball ache. I think I'd rather just buy an already retrimmed wheel. This is going to be the way forward in modern cars. There's going to be retrimming steering wheels, putting different surrounds on the same sort of hub and things like that, because the MOT here in the UK has recently changed, where if your car did come with an airbag as standard, you have to retain an airbag. It is what it is, you know, my car's got to have an airbag, it's got an airbag. This is going to be the way forward, I think, for modifying car steering wheels specifically. There's going to be retrims, whatever colour you want, different shaped steering wheels and things like that. But yeah, that's all there is for this particular video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and share this video with anybody else who's thinking about retrimming their steering wheel, or that would be interested in this particular build. Things like this are making the car look really, really smart. Things like this, the headlights, the front grille, just sort of set the car off a little bit. The next thing I need to do though, and somebody commented on my Instagram, sorry I've forgotten your name, but somebody did say, when are you lowering it, Dan? And I need to lower it. If that was you, then again, let me know below. That needs to be one of the next things that I do on the list. It's just, this took a long time, and I could have probably lowered the car in the same amount of time, but it's if you get stuck in a bolt and things like that. I want it really at my dad's, where he's got all the tools, you know, he's got heat, all that sort of stuff. So if we get a seized bolt, or if we snap a bolt, he's got loads of bolts spare, all that sort of stuff. I just don't have a garage here. We've got a nice flat drive now, but if everything goes well, it's perfect, you know. But if something breaks, I need that sort of backup, you know. My dad's got loads of spare bolts and tools and all that sort of stuff, so lowering the car will set it off just as much as a steering wheel set off the interior. It goes with the clocks as well. Absolutely love it. Look at that. It's like the blue on the clocks and the blue on the steering wheel. Love that. Anyway, catch you in the next one. Bye for now.